What's going on, family? Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to take a look at the fight that took place May 7, 2005 between Diego Corrales, R.I.P. to him, and Jose Luis Castillo. This was one of the fights that I most remember. I've been to 250 World Championship fights, and this is probably top 10 on that list. So let's take a look at Diego Corrales and Jose Luis Castillo, May 7, 2005, dynamic lightweight unification bout, WBO, WBC, right here on the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series, through the eyes of the Scrapbook. Let's take a look at this fight. Now, I did somewhat of a music video to this, but I didn't talk about it. And I felt that I should do that. Diego Corrales was from Sacramento, California. Jose Luis Castillo was from Mexico, and that was the issue. They didn't really consider Diego Corrales a Mexican fighter because he wasn't born in Mexico. You had a lot of cases like that. But like I said, it was for the WBO and the WBC lightweight championship. It was a 12-round unification bout at the Mandalay Bay. I was in the second row of that fight. In the press row, you had Doug Fisher, and he scored at 77-77, which was a draw. Then you had Dan Rafael. He scored at 77-76 for Diego Corrales. And then Tim Smith scored at 76-76. And that would have been a draw. Now, that was up until the 10th round, which was the last round of that fight. It was scheduled for 12. So it was fairly even, with 1 point up for Diego Corrales, according to the eyes of Dan Rafael. But in the eyes of the judges, they had Luis Castillo ahead. And Corrales, because of those knockdowns, he would have had to get up and knock Jose Luis Castillo out. Let's take a look and see what happened. Now, from the opening bell, Corrales comes out with a jab, feints, and he shifts his body from side to side. Now, he doesn't give any ground to Luis Castillo. Of course, Castillo comes straight at him. And it was at that point you can tell what kind of fight you were going to get. It reminded me of the Gotti Ward 1 and 3. Basically, all three of them. I was at all three Gotti Ward fights. And I got to tell you, it was some fight. It really was. With the Castillo, as you can see here, his head comes straight in to Corrales because he wants to let Corrales know this is where the fight is going to happen. So either you move around me or you move from side to side, but I'm going to be in this position the whole night. And it seemed like it was an ego thing because Corrales had the same thing in mind. Now, he's the tallest fighter, and you would think the jab would be his weapon. But he's very underestimated as far as his inside work is concerned because he keeps his elbows in, as you can see here, and everything is up the middle. When he throws his body shots, he throws them a little bit wide, but at the same time, he gets down low enough. But he couldn't do it with Castillo because Castillo was on his chest every step of the way. And he would have to get underneath Castillo's punches. But being the taller man, that was difficult for him to do. Castillo wanted him to box. But he was prepared to slug with him if that's what Corrales decided to do. And that's basically what happened. It was a phone booth fight. Now, I'm skipping around here. And I wanted to get back to this, but since we're on a page here. As you can see here, Diego Corrales is looking directly at Castillo, and look at the torque of his body. He had just delivered the right hand, and it turned Castillo's face to the side. His whole body shifted towards his right side. That's the power and velocity of a swing. That's how you throw a punch. Beautiful execution. The only thing is, Corrales is supposed to keep his glove up a little higher. Because if Castillo was in any frame of mind, he would come back with a counter. Which is what he was doing the entire fight. Every time Corrales would throw a punch, as soon as Castillo felt the punch, he would come back with a counter. Because the habit that Corrales had, he would throw a punch and he would lag. You have to throw combinations against fighters like Castillo. You have to. Here, same thing. Now you see Corrales is in position to throw a punch, but look at where his glove is. It's not in defensive position. And Castillo is basically countering Corrales all night long. That's what he's doing. That's what the mission is. It's to counter him all night long. And that's what happened. Now this is where Tony Weeks will eventually take away a point from Corrales because of the spitting out of the mouthpiece. Now, like I said, I'm skipping around here. Obviously, here it shows the victory of Corrales. And here you see Joe Goosen in disbelief because he couldn't believe that Corrales would pull this off. He had went down twice in that very same round, in the 10th round. He was hurt in the 9th round. As you can see here, look at that beautiful left hook. And the expression on the face of Corrales. The left hook of Castillo is right on the mark. Now, he didn't turn that left hook over, otherwise Corrales would have been knocked out. As you can see, the position of the glove on the face. He didn't turn it over. That's a problem with a lot of fighters today. Here, wide open is Corrales. I'm sorry, Castillo. And Corrales is in position to throw a left hand. But see, the position these guys are in now, based on the frame of mind, of thought, the fatigue, and the fact that they just want to get at one another, a lot of the textbook goes out the window. But beautiful punches and combinations that we witness here. Very nice. Corrales, nice jab. That's where he needs to be. That's where he should have been the majority of the fight. Let's give you an overview of the book here. 2-page spread. Get a quick tail of the tape here. As you can see here, Diego Corrales was 5'10.5". He weighed 135 pounds. He was 27. Pro record was 39-2-32. He had the IBF Junior Lightweight Champion from 1999 to 2000. Most impressive fights with Angel Manfredi, Joe Casamayor, and Alicio Freitas. I always had a problem pronouncing this guy's name. But he had 2 knockouts and 1 win there. When you take a look at Jose Luis Castillo, he was 5'8". He weighed 135 pounds. He was 31 years of age. He had a professional record of 51-6-1 with 45 knockouts. He had the World Lightweight 2004 to present at that time. He had the WBC Lightweight 2000 to 2002 and then 2004 to present. Most impressive victories with Stevie Johnson, 12-round victory in 2000. Floyd Mayweather lost 12, 2002. He also, that's controversial whether he defeated Floyd Mayweather, or not. The WBC was the mission at that moment. And he had a 12-round victory of Juan Lescano, 2004. Weeks is about to step in because Castillo is done. He's completely done. Corrales can do anything he wants to him. Weeks' job is not to allow that to happen. Fight's over. But at this point, it's amazing because Corrales was out. He was completely out. He went down 2 separate occasions. One more knockdown, the fight would have been over. He goes back to the corner because Tony Weeks picks up the mouthpiece. He takes a point away. He brings it over to the corner for Joe Goosen to put the mouthpiece back into Castillo's mouth. Castillo's asking what's happening. Why are you taking points away? And once Joe Goosen finds out why, he tells Corrales. He tells Corrales, you got to get inside on him now, which means that you got to go for the knockout. Either you get knocked out or he gets knocked out. But that's it. You got to go for the knockout because he was down on the cards. And if Corrales if he got knocked down one more time, the fight would have been over. Here you see the belts that they're actually fighting for. They're getting ready to set up for the second fight. And I just want to show you the execution between these two men. This is a throwback fight. Now you see here, Tony Weeks is taking a look at Corrales, and he's asking him, after he counts, giving him a count of 9, Corrales gets up at the count of 9. Are you okay? Walk to me. He picks up the mouth guard. He tells him, I'm taking a point away. He brings him over to a neutral corner, well, the actual corner of Corrales, to get the mouthpiece put back into his mouth. As you can see here, the dramatic scene on the cover of Boxing 2005. That's a look of a champion. He's got a belt around his shoulder blade. He's letting the world know, I'm not done yet. The rematch will be on the way. And here you have it. Now, the thing was, the first rematch was going to be, they actually delayed it. They canceled the first fight. Castillo couldn't make weight. And Corrales should have never taken a fight when a man can't make weight. There's no reason for it. He already won. He was a champion. And he decided to fight him a second time for whatever political reason. Here you can see Castillo. Corrales. I keep calling this man Castillo. This is Corrales. He's on the floor and he's looking up. He's dazed. He doesn't really know where Weeks is. He's just looking around. And this fight is going to be over. And this time, Castillo had won the fight. This time you have Joe Cortez as the referee. The Goosens didn't like the fact that Tony Weeks took a point away, and now you have Joe Cortez. Different situation here. Once again, it was a left hook that got to Corrales. And Corrales was vulnerable to the left hook. If you look at Floyd Mayweather, he got him out of there with straight right-hand leads and left hooks, lead left hooks. Because Corrales, his problem is he keeps his hand low. And when his hands are high, when he throws a punch, he drops the hand before he actually delivers the shot. It has to be timed perfectly. You'll catch him every time. Once again, left hook is what sends him down. That's it. Fight's over. And Joe Cortez waves off the fight. I just wanted to take a look back at that fight because it deserves to be looked at. I mean, it's one of the best fights that we had in a very long time. So thanks for watching this fight with me again. This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Salute to Castillo. Salute to Corrales. R.I.P. to Diego Corrales. Phenomenal fighter he was.